1961, the Secretary of Defense, with Atomic Energy Commission concurrence, directed the activation of Joint Task Force 8 to prepare for a nuclear test series in the Pacific. This series, if conducted, was to be known as Operation Dominic. By early April, the large military AEC Joint Task Force had been organized, manned, and had achieved operational readiness at its forward locations in the Pacific. On the 25th of April, 2 days after receipt of presidential directive to proceed with testing, the first airdrop of the series was made, just off Christmas Island.
Send out probes to go, wait a minute, what in the world? If we're in a dome, how high does this thing go? So they start launching high altitude nuclear bombs, and if you look at the videos on Operation Fishbowl and Starfish Prime and all those high altitude tests, I mean, it looks like they're hitting something up there. I mean, at least from a conspiratorial tinfoil hat wearing perspective, that's what it looks like. Now, this is what blew my mind. You can read more on all that if you'd like. Look up the name Dominic, and again, let's just double check it here. Dominic, D-O-M-I-N-I-C. Look up Dominic, D-O-M-I-N-I-C, from the late Latin name Dominicus, meaning of the Lord. Fishbowl was part of Operation Dominic. It looks like they are sending high-altitude nuclear bombs to test the fishbowl of the Lord, i.e., the firmament.
Yeah. Okay, so what you're seeing here is a printout from Wikipedia. And remind you, I'm describing the firmament. There's something called Operation Dominic, and if you look at the right, you see that explosion at the right there? That explosion on the right, it says Dominic Chama. I want you to keep an eye on that. You see that? So what happened is, if you look at the last sentence in the first paragraph, it says, the Thor missile was used to lift warheads into near space to conduct high-altitude nuclear explosion tests. These shots were collectively called Operation Fishbowl. So what happened was the government, when they started making missiles that were powerful enough that they thought they could break through the sea of glass, they, during the Cold War, used the Cold War as a tactic for exploding high-altitude missiles to try and break through what they already knew was the dome on the Earth. And I'm going to prove all this to you that the government has always known that the Earth is flat. It lies to us through TV, through the media, through movies. It makes you believe the world is a spinning ball hurtling through space like a marble. They even called it Operation Fishbowl. Does that not make you feel any more like you're in a flat Earth with a bowl on top? They called it Operation Fishbowl, and it was to shoot missiles into space because they thought they had the power to finally break through the firmament. And actually what happens, if you read the rest of the article, these missiles would hit up at a certain altitude, and then light would shine all the way to the other hemisphere. And the reason that was is because they were hitting that glass, and the glass was reflecting it all the way across the sky. It's not some globe Earth where they're just trying... Why would they just shoot a missile in the air to see how high it can blow up? Like, are they just playing with rubber bands? Like, they're doing it for a reason, and they called it Operation Fishbowl for a reason. And also, their original name was Dominic Charma, and if you see on your packet, I described what Dominic Charma actually means. Dominic is from the late Roman Italic name Dominicus, and it means belonging to God, and then that word Chama is a fixed, massive, irregular, inequivalent shell. So they originally called it the shell belonging to God, but then they just termed it Operation Fishbowl.
The Johnston Island portion of the 1962 Dominic Test Series, conducted by Joint Task Force 8, included two types of tests. One involved a number of high-altitude nuclear detonations carried aloft by various missiles launched from the island for a study of the effects produced by such detonations. And the other was a group of 5 airdrops over the ocean clear of the island, but within the Johnston Island danger area. These airdrops were a continuation of certain advanced concepts investigations started during the Christmas Island operation. The Starfish, Bluegill, and Kingfish tests were launched by modified Thor missiles, which initially were the only planned high-altitude vehicles. The missile carried externally mounted instrumentation pods for each event to collect data on blast overpressures and thermal and nuclear radiation as potential ICBM kill mechanisms. After each event, helicopter and ship teams recovered the now highly radioactive pods from the sea for delivery to the island and subsequent analysis of their data. In addition, a variety of auxiliary rockets, also launched